Good morning, everybody. It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. It's Thursday morning. Cowboys have been practicing this week, getting ready for those New York Jets. Headed up to MetLife Stadium this weekend. It's funny because I guess they're going to that stadium twice this year because they share the same stadium with the Giants. And interesting. I know it's like you got to play the same stadium twice. It's like, what is going on? So practice update this week. Yesterday, LVE Leighton Vander Esch, he did not practice because not necessarily because of the injury, but he had an illness. He was kind of sick. So players are human; they get sick just like we do. So they hold him out for certain things like that. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about the defense too. Try to clarify some things. Hopefully, it'll bring a little bit of joy to your life. We may be getting Antoine Woods back, which is really good because that's the guy in the middle. We've been getting gashed up the middle. I feel like when you get gashed up in the middle, it's almost like you get your manhood taken away because that's the meat of your defense right there. But neither here nor there. You look at this offensive line as well. Tyron Smith, he's been injured, dealing with his ankle and knee and everything else he got going on. Your boy Lyle Collins, he had an MCL sprain. We were feared that it was going to be way worse than what it was, but the Cowboys been kind of lucky this year. Outside of Kayvon Frazier being gone for the year, you haven't really had any injuries that got sustained that keep these guys out for the rest of the season. So that's a good thing. Now you look at Lyle Collins. He may be coming back earlier than we thought. Now, when Brandon Knight came in there, and I kept wondering, and I didn't know much about Brandon Knight, I'll be honest with you. I knew that he was good in college, but, again, when you get to the NFL level, it's a different ball game, especially, when you're not a drafted guy or anything like that. Now, you look at Brandon Knight. He came in there. Mind you, when these backup guys practice, they don't really get reps like that. A lot of them are practicing with the practice squad. They're getting scout team reps. And scout team reps are nowhere near the same as first team reps. So they're not practicing with the ones. They're like the fours. So you don't get that experience being with that line and that cohesiveness with the line. One thing about the offensive line, I know a lot of you guys already know this, but for those of you that don't know how offensive line works, when you got your guys out there, they're like a 5-finger glove. When you take a glove away or one finger away, it's uncomfortable. It disrupts the flow of the rest of the fingers. You take away more than one, it could be devastating. So to make that comparison, when you change out a guy, sometimes your backup doesn't always play that exact position. So sometimes you have to switch out one or two guys just to fix one spot on the offensive line. Now, when you have your 5 guys, your regular guys, they have a cohesiveness to them. These guys know each other. They know each other's strengths and weaknesses. They have their communication together. Like, for instance, young Connor Williams. He's right there next to Tyron Smith. When Tyron Smith is in the game, Tyron Smith is telling him, hey, I got this guy. You get this block. You know what I mean? So he's kind of guiding him and helping him to get the right blocker. Now, when Cam Fleming is in the game, it's a little different ball game. He's not sitting there saying to him, oh, I'm gonna help you out, because he doesn't really probably know as much as Tyron Smith does. I'm just assuming this. He's probably telling him, hey, it's more like not him telling him, but him asking him, hey, you got that? You good? How we gonna do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not the same thing. So the line doesn't have the same strength. Now, granted, Tyron Smith is arguably the best left tackle in this league. So to say that, not saying that Cam Fleming sucks, but he's not Tyron Smith. And there's a lot of people in this league that are not Tyron Smith. So, that's a hard feat to accomplish. Now, upon observing Cam Fleming, I will say that I mean, he's a decent left tackle, but again, I feel like we've been spoiled for years with great offensive lines. So when we see somebody that's like average or even a little above average, we think they suck because they're not as good as what we're used to. But when you're used to having a great offensive line, anything less than that, you'd be like, oh my God, this team sucks. And it really isn't. Because you look at other teams, their best offensive linemen are worse than our backups. So look at it in that perspective. So I always say just be blessed and be happy for what you have. Now, Cam Fleming, sometimes he plays a little too tall. Now, I never played the offensive line position, but I do understand the dynamics of what they have to do every day. Now, again, you gotta get some leverage on your guy. You cannot block standing straight up. You gotta bend your knees. You gotta get that leverage. You gotta push off. And sometimes Cam Fleming, when he comes off that snap, he's standing straight up, and the guy is he's off balance, and the guy swims past him to Dak Prescott. So, he's not Chaz Green, though. He ain't that bad. But I think that if he had to play a little longer for Tyron Smith, they said Tyron Smith might be coming back, but I wouldn't rush it. I would give him another week if I were the team, and get him ready for that Eagles game, because you're going to need all hands on deck for that Eagle game. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all say, oh, the Eagles, maybe, some people say, oh, the Eagles, we're better than the Eagles. Look, that's a division game, and the Eagles are hungry. And the Eagles got an easy stretch the last 5 games of the season. So they got a tough stretch in between like we do, but we're now tied at 3-2 in the record category. So, but the Cowboys have the edge because of division games. But what I'm going to tell you, don't go in there underestimating. You never underestimate your division. I don't care how bad or good they are. It's a division. They know you. And Doug Peterson, I got to give him credit. He's over there coaching those guys very good. And they beat the Packers, and we didn't. So I'm just saying. And they beat them at Lambeau Field. So, I love my team, but we got to get it together. Now, one thing I would say is reps. Reps help. The more and more you have reps with the team, it helps you. So, with Cam Fleming coming in, I think that, if Tyron does not play, which they said that he might, but in the case that he doesn't, at least he had a week of practice to get in there with the ones and figure things out, and hopefully he'll block better. If not, you got to come in the game as a coaching staff and provide help on that side. Because the thing about it is, you can't come into a game and not help the guy that is not blocking as well. You got to get a tight end over there. You got to chip him with a running back. You got to do something within the game plan. Don't go in the game thinking, oh, let's see how it works. No, you go in there and provide help first. And if he does well and don't need it, then you slide the help away and you use those guys somewhere else in your offense. That's it. Now, Brandon Knight. My thing about Brandon Knight came in the game, and if you watch it, if you go back and look at it, he actually didn't play that bad. He was actually pretty good on that right side. Now, I see why they picked him up. I see why they never cut him. I see why they put Brandon Knight on the 53-man roster, because they saw fight in him. I'll be honest with you. I'll go far as to say that he might be, our offensive line coach, Mark Colombo, used to play for the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like he's a young Mark Colombo, a very strong, strappy, young tackle that's going to go in there and do what he needs to do. I think that he could be an asset to this line going forward in the future. But maybe I'm too soon. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. But he played pretty well for a guy that had basically practice squad scout reps in practice all season so far, and in training camp. Maybe in preseason he had first team reps, but it's still with backups. I think that, because he held his own in there. So who knows? Now, Lyle, they said that he could be coming back. But again, for precautionary reasons, they kept him out of practice. We'll figure out, and by the time I do my my matchup videos this weekend, we'll know exactly, or have a better idea who's playing or who's not. But I think Brandon Knight can hold up the fort. Now, Cam Fleming, I don't know. I say if you got to put both of those guys in there, you better provide help on Cam Fleming's side. I'm telling you, because that's the side where Dak Prescott gets the most rushes from, especially if they know the Tyrant's not in there. Now, the Jets don't have a great defensive line, but again, you still have to make sure that you got that coverage, because again, this Jets team is very beatable. But I'm not underestimating them, because they got that safety Jamal Adams over there. They got Le'Veon Bell, and they got their quarterback coming back from mono. And the only touchdown that Le'Veon Bell had this season was from Sam Darnold before Sam Darnold got mono. So their backup quarterbacks couldn't get the job done. But Sam Darnold is back, so it makes them a little bit better. But again, you better beat the Jets, because I'm telling you, you do not want to fall 3-3. You got to beat the Jets, because you got the Eagles up next week, because the Eagles are playing the Vikings, and who knows how that game is going to go. So at the end of the day, you got to do your job. You got to win your games, period. One more thing before I end this. So as far as the defense goes, like I was saying in the beginning of the video, DeMarcus Lawrence said that, hey, we got to take it back to the fundamentals. We got to take it back to the basics. Yeah, you got to tackle. You got to wrap up. When you see that running back running up your gut, disrespecting your gut, you better tackle him. You got to hit him hard. That first person better be hitting him. He better not be getting to the second level to the cornerbacks and safeties. I don't want to see DBs with 11 and 12 tackles. I mean, it's cool that they're doing their thing and tackling, but that when you see DBs with 11 and 12 tackles in the game, that means that the defensive line and linebackers not doing their job. The way this defense is the linebacker play, because we don't have big, solid linebackers that are just going to blow you off the ball. They're not that type of guys. That was the only not the con on Leighton Vander Esch that coming out of the draft, is that for him to be successful, he requires a team to have a great defensive line that does their job to keep those offensive linemen neutralized, because Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch ain't going up against no offensive linemen. Because, when I played at a linebacker position, I never wanted to see no offensive lineman. I don't care if you're high school, college, semi-pro, whatever. You don't want to see no offensive lineman. Because most linebackers are 220 to 250, maybe 260. These offensive linemen are 350 plus. You ain't going up against nobody like that. I know as hell well I ain't. I'm just saying. But again, they're hybrid type of linebackers. They play sideline to sideline. They're fast guys. They when the defensive linemen are doing their job and they're clogging and containing, these linebackers will do well. The people ask me all the time, "Oh, do you think that Jalen is regressing? Do you think that LVE is regressing?" No. The way, like I said, the way that this defense as a whole runs, it's a cohesive unit. Everybody has to do their job. Lane integrity. The A gap, the B gap, the C gap, the D gap. One technique. The two technique, the ends. Everybody has to stay in their lane. When you see your guy running up the middle, that means the D tackles ain't doing their job. They getting blown off by the center and the guards. So you can't get blown off by the center and the guard. You got to be able to stay sturdy and tackle that running back or that receiver on the end around. Either way. But to say that, that's basically what I'm saying. So you got to take it back to the fundamentals. They got to tackle. They got to gang tackle. Everybody got lane integrity. They got to do their job. Period. If we get Antoine Woods back this week, that will be huge for this defense, because again, they don't call him the human log for nothing. So, with that being said, that's all I got for right now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this offensive line and things going forward. I think we'll be fine. We just have to get back to playing Dallas Cowboys football. Dak Prescott has to calm down and stop trying to, because I think what it is he hears all the criticism about him, and he's like, I'm going up against these good quarterbacks, and I'm just trying to match their play. All Dak has to do is play his game, play his realm because, again, Dak Prescott ain't the same type of quarterback as an Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady. You know what I mean? He's a different type of guy. He's a good quarterback, but again, he's still learning. And you know what I'm saying? Sometimes he gets out of his mind. Sometimes you come on now. You guys got to understand the pressure of being the Cowboys quarterback is a lot. I want to see some of you guys go out there and see if you guys could do any better with all that pressure. You got that pressure weighing down on you, your contract is coming up. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. And I'm talking about outside of football. But I love the fact that he's a poised guy. He stands up for, what he does. He's a natural leader. You cannot teach leadership. That's one thing that you cannot do is teach leadership. You either are or you aren't. So I give him the benefit of the doubt on that. Does he mess up? Yeah. A lot of quarterbacks do. But again, it's all a part of the learning process. It's his 4th year. You know what I mean? He's getting it. He's much better. I feel like his confidence is better. The more and more you do things, the better you get. It's period. Practice makes perfect. Now, he just has to calm down and just block out that outside noise and play his game. Just play your game, bro. And do what you got to do. But that's all I got for right now. Also, exciting news. My merch is coming soon. My designs are almost done. I'll unveil them on my IG when it is complete. If you guys don't already know my IG is E2Blue_entertainment. It's very simple. So check that out. I will be posting that as soon as this is done. So, with that being said, y'all, thanks again to all my subscribers. I appreciate you guys. It's your boy E2 Blue. Always keeping it real. Talk to y'all soon.